curve modifier is actually the ability to combine all the modifiers together into one component. So in this case, I made a spline, it just follows a little dip, and that's about it. So let's add the curve modifier for this. So you can exit out the globe, tools, curves, mesh generator, and then in this case curves. And if we open it up, you can see nothing is added. The mesh is not visible because we didn't create any mesh yet. So let's start by adding certain functionalities. So let's say I want to add the repeat modifier, and let's go for one of my favorite, like the chain. Now the chain has been generated along this spline, but I want it to be following only a certain range. So go to fit, count 7. I want my chain to be a little bit bigger, so I will go over this a lot faster. So I want it to follow 25% on the left side of my spline, maybe a cap at the end or at the start in this case. So yes, enable it. Let's use the caps that are included. As you can tell, the cap is facing the other side. You can change it by rotating it 180 degrees. Too small for my taste, so let's go for 3 units. Let's do the same thing for the other side. So what we can do here is we can minimize this, still active. We can enable and disable the modifiers as well. We can add a new modifier. Extrude. Oh, extrude. A wrong modifier, that's okay. If we copy the settings, like copy settings on the repeat modifier, we can paste them into our extrude, and it will automatically convert it to a repeat modifier. And in this case, instead of going from 0 to 0 to 25, let's change this to 1 again from 75%. So now we have the other side. Let's change the cap. So disable this one. Enable it for the other side. Cap 2 and with the scale. Now I would like to have like a chain here and then some rope, and maybe that rope has some connections. Let's add a rope like in the middle of our spline. Let's minimize this one. For the rope, it's again a repeat modifier. Select a rope. I want it to fit along again, so I have this threshold. Set this count on 8 from 55% to 75%. It's a little bit too small. Let's pump up this, maybe something like this. Oh, it's the wrong orientation. That explains a lot. So let's change the orientation of this spline. Now we have something like this. And I would like to have a cap here. You could use these caps, but I would like to have a little bit more of control. And since we know it's on 25%, we can actually add a position modifier. So mesh add position. In this case, I want to use another cap. So cap 1. Threshold 25%. Let's scale this up. Orientation is also wrong, so let's adjust that one. Cool. Do the same thing for the other side. So copy settings, add a new modifier, paste settings. Now this is automatically done. Now let's change the percentage here, but I would like to rotate this. So change this to 270 degrees, and now you see here we combined all of modifiers into actually one modifier. Technically, because we are working with percentages, we could change this and would still all nicely follow along, which is great. This could technically also run at runtime if you like, but for now it's meant for editor use, and that would be the curve modifier.